For those of you that have done it, you'll understand that chasing mule deer with a bow can be a frustrating game. And for those of you who haven't, well, you'll just have to take my word for it. And for one specific girl, I'll admit that several years ago when we started chasing them together, I wasn't sure that she was quite cut out for it. You see, unlike chasing whitetail or many other species where you wait patiently for your one opportunity that you may not get, archery mule deer hunting is far more proactive. This causes a huge range of emotions over a small period of time. You can go from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows within a few short hours, and this seems to take place far too often. It's like riding a roller coaster of emotions each and every day, and I've personally watched the life get sucked out of those who don't know how to handle it. 4 years ago, Darcy was that person. With every mile she hiked and every deer she blew out, I watched her slowly wilt away like a flower starving for water. She kept moving forward on principle, but deep down inside I knew that she wanted to quit. Finally, it happened. After 5 of the toughest years possible, she was rewarded with a gorgeous velvet buck. And since then, she's been riding that roller coaster in the front seat with a big smile on her face and loving every minute of it. She crushed it out of the park again the next year, and heading into the fall of 2018, well, there wasn't really any question about how it was going to go down.
We just spotted this deer in the coulee, and we got a good look at him in the spotting scope, and he's a really nice deer. He has a nice split on one side, and it's a no-brainer for me. Corey was actually thinking of shooting him, but he has a rifle tag, and he's going to wait and be patient and wait for something bigger, but he's definitely a deer that I would love, so he's actually not very far away. He's just around the corner, probably less than 100 yards away, so yeah, the wind's really good today.
Early in the season, we had found one of the giant old bucks that we had been hunting for the past 2 years. He was an ancient old buck with heavy main beams and a split on his right G4. He had actually gone downhill this year, losing some tine length but putting on some extra mass. He was bedded in a dangerous spot, and we had a screaming wind in our face. It may have been the first stalk of the year, but I was pretty confident.
Fatal Impact is proudly sponsored by Top Grade Construction, Black Widow Innovations, Vortex Optics, Covert Scouting Cameras, Old Smokes Coffee, and the Municipal District of Bonnyville. This segment of Fatal Impact is brought to you by Deluxe Waltons, built in Canada for Canadian conditions. This segment of Fatal Impact is brought to you by Dory River Outfitters, Saskatchewan's premier bear destination.
We had been sitting on this buck for over 4 hours in the blistering sun trying not to fall asleep. We were only 8 yards away, but he was bedded in a steep cliff with no real shot angle. Even when we stood up, we would only be able to see the top of his back, so we had to wait until he fed down the hill in the evening. We were exhausted, but determined to wait it out. But we were brought back to reality when I glanced up and noticed a coyote cruising down the coulee directly in front of us, and I knew that we were in trouble. That was Darcy's only real opportunity during the first week of September, and after that stalk, we returned home to spend a few weeks chasing other species, hoping that he would still be there when we returned. It wasn't until the middle of October before Darcy found herself scouring the prairies with her bow once again. And although we couldn't locate that same old buck, it didn't take us long before finding another deer that she had her heart set on. He was a beautiful typical that we had found in early September. He hadn't gone far, and we watched them bed in a pretty decent spot.
These were the ones we spotted way far in the distance this morning, and we couldn't see where they went. So as soon as we started hiking this morning, we did end up finding them. They bedded in an awful spot, so we actually kept hiking looking for some other deer. And now we're on our way back, and they actually moved and are bedded right in the bottom in a little bit of a better spot. So I'm hoping it'll work. There's one really nice deer. There's another deer that's really wide but has really weak forks. And the only problem right now is earlier there was a third deer, just a small one, and we don't know where he is right now. So hopefully we don't end up spooking him and then him spooking the other two. But we still got lots of light. It's only like early afternoon, so we'll see if we can make it work. Dana, he's up. All I can see is the tips of his horns. He's right behind the brush there. I think he's gonna feed to the left. Should I wait till he looks away? Did I get him? I didn't see my arrow. Did he move back or forward? Okay, because I put my 40 really low. I put my 40 low on him. Oh, he did duck? Did it sound like a hit? That was really weird. Like it was like a perfect shot. I don't know.
He looked like he was hurt. You want to get it hurt?
I don't know. Oh, I don't like not seeing my arrow. Did you see my arrow?
Let's go see if we can find it.
Here's my arrow. It's definitely perfectly clean. I had a perfect miss. We watched the footage in slow motion as soon as I shot, and this deer completely ducked the string. I would have hit him perfectly. He was just under 40 yards, so I aimed low with my 40, and sure enough, he ducked, and there's actually a little tiny tuft of hair here even. So I must have got just this tuft of hair. It makes me happy that I didn't end up wounding him because he ducked. Like, I'm actually like, okay. I mean, it sucks. It really sucks, but that's part of hunting. Dana has had so many deer duck the string, and they're just super quick on that. I just don't understand how they can do that so quickly, because that arrow is flying at them super fast. I don't know how that happens. I waited till he kind of looked away, and he was looking away just a little bit broadside, and I put my 40 on him low and longer.
Ducked it?
Totally ducked it.
Yeah, pretty bad.
Really?
I've never had an animal duck a string, so that was my first one.
No idea we were even there. Perfect.
It was the right one?
Oh, yeah.
The deep forward
Yeah.
one. Did the other one stand up at the same time?
When I shot.
Fatal Impact is proudly sponsored by Wood Wheaton Supercenter, Deluxe Wall Tents, Top Notch Taxidermy, ExileOutdoors.com, Victory Archery, and Hornady Ammunition. This segment of Fatal Impact is brought to you by Vortex, the force of optics. This segment of the show is brought to you by Wood Wheaton Supercenter, a proud supporter of our outdoor heritage.
Darcy had only really stalked 2 deer so far during the fall, and she'd come very close both times. As her time was quickly running out, we found a beautiful buck in a new area that she wanted to go after. He was in a really tough spot, and I didn't know if we were going to be able to make it work.
We gotta switch up our game plan a little bit. As we got to the top of the hill, there's actually a really small little buck bedded right at the bottom, and of course he's facing right up the hill. So we decided our best bet would be to come to the bottom, and the buck that's bedded in the brush definitely can't see us when we're standing right here. The little guy, I'm pretty sure he spotted us already. So I think as long as we crawl, he might not see us or continue to see us. He might be a little bit alert. It wouldn't surprise me if he ends up busting this deer out, but gotta try anyways. He's trying to shop. Sprinkles everywhere.
We were right in his bedroom, less than 10 yards away, and his antler tips were nearly impossible to pick out with my Vortex binos. If he stood up, there was no way that we could get a shot at him. We tried to move a bit higher to create a lane when he heard something that he didn't like and scrambled from the brush. He didn't know what it was or where it came from, so he wasn't that spooked. We watched him feed for 20 minutes before he settled back down to bed for a few more hours, giving us the window we needed to move into position. Really awesome spot, but we're kind of stuck here. We have to try and sneak past him. I can see his whole antlers and the top of his head. We gotta sneak through his peripherals to get out of sight, and then just pop up the top and hopefully get a shot at him. Beautiful buck.
I caught him, Dana. Oh my gosh. I got him. Where did I hit him? Is it a good shot? It's a good shot. Oh my goodness. That was like, oh, he's not gonna go far. That's like a perfect long shot.
Fatal Impact is proudly sponsored by Dory River Outfitters, Phone Scope, Matthews Archery, Wapiti River Outdoors, iHunter, and Scree Gear. This segment of Fatal Impact is brought to you by the MD of Bonneville. Lake adventures happen here. This segment of Fatal Impact is brought to you by Top Grade Construction in Lloydminster, Alberta.
I caught him, Dana. Oh my gosh. I got him. Where did I hit him? Is it a good shot? It's a good shot. Oh my goodness. That was like, oh, he's not gonna go far. That's like a perfect long shot.
The shot looked good, but with the angle of the arrow, we knew that it likely only caught one lung. We watched him disappear over the next hill and gave him a few hours to make sure that we didn't bump him.
Oh man, we finally just got back to our bags. We've been hiking in our socks all afternoon since I shot that deer. And we had to leave our packs and our boots and the camera and everything got left behind because we just wanted to see where he went, and we ended up not. And we finally, after walking in our socks forever, right before last light, we finally found him on a hill a little ways further than this, and he's down, so we're gonna have a really long night. Finally, I got my boots back on though, so that's the main thing. My feet are full of thistles. I'm gonna need the tweezers tonight. But the main part is that he's down. Well, this is where he lay. He's a really pretty buck. Ouch. It's really crazy how it all worked out. He has really nice front forks. He's missing one brow tine here, but that's okay. He has a little bit of mass. Really nice deer. It's been a long day and it's gonna be a long night. So we gotta pack this thing out. Thank goodness we got a little bit of help. Rob's with us. So we got 3 people instead of just Dana and myself.
I spent a lot of time looking at that profile.
Yeah, he sat there for, I don't even know, I lost time, or I lost track of time when we were sitting there. I actually started dozing off because it's so tough to sit there and just wait and wait and wait and wait for hours and hours. He actually saw me before I shot. He was feeding, but he was kind of feeding sideways from where I was shooting, and he definitely spotted me, so he kind of jumped a bit, but I was able to still get it into him, so that was good. I'm not sure if it was him or not, but 2 of the bucks that we saw this morning in the group that he was in were fighting this morning. So I'm not sure how much longer they'll be together for. They may be breaking up soon. They're starting to not like each other.